had the IVF consent signing today for the next cycle. The appointment was supposed to be last week, but I pushed it forward to this week because I was thinking my period will come this week anyway. I just need to get the medication before the cycle begins, and coincidentally my period came today, so perfect. This time Dr. Hema wants me to take injections earlier, progesterone injections. Instead of starting after FET, I'm gonna start on the same day I start Cyclogest, and I think she wants me to do it 3 times a week. So that's a lot of money and pain. I have an appointment for the first ultrasound on 1st October, day 8. My period would have just ended, and I also need to get a pap smear just to check that nothing's wrong. New background, we moved. 2 days ago, I went for the first ultrasound and the lining's good. I think it's 10 point something. I'm ready to go for the embryo transfer. The headline is that the embryo transfer is going to be on 9th October, next Thursday. I thought Dr. Hema wanted me to start on the jabs 3 times a week. Turns out it's still 2 times a week, same as the last cycle. The only difference is that instead of starting after the embryo transfer, we start 5 days before 1 hour, same time as we start Cyclogest, and we start both those things tomorrow. Oh, I was gonna go to Bird Paradise tomorrow. Now I have to remember to get the jab and then go to Bird Paradise, and then I have to do the afternoon Cyclogest at Bird Paradise. Oh, that's a lot to think about. But Dr. Hema also wanted me to get a pap smear done, and I went to the polyclinic today because I didn't want to do it at SGH. That would cost like 4 times more. All was good until I mentioned I'm doing this pap smear for IVF, and then she suddenly was losing her mind, figuratively. Like, oh no, is this safe? Is the pap smear safe to be done if she's going for IVF? She asked me what medications I'm taking, and I said estrogen pills via mouth, not the vagina. She asked the doctor, and then she was just sitting down there doing nothing that I could see. And then I asked her, like, okay, so how long am I gonna have to wait for the doctor? And she said, oh, the doctor's not in the clinic right now. What is the next course of action? Can I just like sign a consent form to say I'm not gonna blame you if anything wrong happens to me? She said, oh, there's no such form. We just have to wait for the doctor because I need to figure out if it's safe. Like, my IVF doctor told me to come here to get the pap done. How is it not safe? She said, if the doctor doesn't reply in 15 minutes, then maybe we have to reschedule. And I said, no, I can't reschedule because I can't do this after the embryo transfer. And it just looks like I'm not gonna get it done. So in the end, I waited 20 minutes. She didn't come and get me. I went to get her, and she said, okay, she'll call me later. So I didn't get the pap smear done today, and I kind of wasted a morning waiting at the polyclinic for that. She called me in the afternoon as I was trying to feed Lyric in a very chaotic food court, so I didn't get to answer, and I called back and there was no reply, so I think we're done with that. And I think the blood test for the results will be on 20th October, but since 20th October is Diwali, it might be 21st October, so I have to wait a whole extra day, and also I have to not review this over Diwali. Yesterday was the first day of starting the progesterone jabs and Cyclogest. I went to a new clinic because I've moved to get the jab done, and unfortunately this clinic doesn't let me use CTC vouchers. Not only that, they only accept cash. So I had to also go look for, ironically, a young person who has cash because the area just had a lot of old people. It's also a 10-minute walk from my home now, instead of like right across the street from my rental. When I went into the consultation room, the guy looked like a great-grandfather. He was really nice, and if I wasn't in a rush, everything was actually really charming and nice to look at. The lack of modern things was very charming to look at, but I was in a rush, and the lack of modern things was making me take longer. Got the jab done. He was really explaining to me why he was using this particular needle instead of another needle. It was taking really long, but good to know. I'm not sure if I will go back to that clinic for my next jab. If I can use CTC vouchers to pay for my jabs, why not, right? But then I have to find another clinic that is not going to be walking distance anymore. So I'm not sure if that's what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to take Lyric home for naps now so that I can do the pastry. And maybe I can take a nap too. I gotta practice resting for in case I'm pregnant, which I hope for. Then it will already be a habit to rest in the afternoons, but it's gonna be hard to bring her from playdate to playdate. And yesterday happened to be Bird Paradise Day. And then there was a lot going on at Bird Paradise and I had to nap her at A&W and then do the pastry there, seated up. So I hope not to do that again. Oh, my butt hurts from the jab because even though I think he administered it properly, it just has a bruise, a big bruise. Here begins my butt pains. Since I'm swimming, I can show you the the jab. I'm contemplating whether to go to Ubin today. There's not really a play date, but just a hangout at Ubin with the babies. And I feel like this is something that I wouldn't be able to do anymore once Lyric goes to school. My only consideration is how am I going to do the pastry? Is there going to be a spot for me to lie down or just chill out in case she takes her nap there? Well, the other consideration is that it will definitely be a lot less stressful on my body if I don't go to Ubin because I'm not going to bring a stroller there. But these are the kind of things I want to do with my first child. I don't want to stop doing them because of a second child. And maybe that says that I'm not ready for a second child to some of you. I don't believe I have to stop choosing my first child first. Can you go play with the rest?
Wait, your mommy needs to lie down for 30 minutes. Mom, accessory.
Oh, you put it there now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say this is a good spot. I don't know whether it was.
I know.
You can go get a steak.
Yes.
Pastry of the day in Pulau Ubin for breastfeeding. These friends in the background. Today we are a day away from the embryo transfer, and so it's the last day I'm gonna go swimming for a while, and I'm glad there's a swim to go to. I also tried another clinic for the jab yesterday, the second jab. I walked around to find another one and there was a slightly closer one, but it opened about an hour later. Like the doctor came in only at 9:40 even though they say they're open at 8. It was still a male doctor. He was also quite old and he was a little awkward. Like he wouldn't really say much things. He would just do his own thing unless I asked questions to make conversation. But I didn't want to do that because I don't want to distract him from what he was doing. So he gave me the jab, plain and simple. I asked him things like, do you want me to lie on the bed or to just lean against it? And he said, lean against it. That was like the most he said in a sentence. It was quite painless. And throughout the day, it was also quite painless. I almost forgot I got the jab yesterday, so that was quite a big deciding factor for me. It was $25, same as the one that makes me pay in cash. But the difference is this one's going to continue to be $25 because they didn't charge for consultation anyway. So it would be cheaper to go to the one with cash. But then overnight, my butt started hurting again, so I guess the pain level is the same. Maybe he just did a cleaner poke. Now I'm wondering whether I should try a third clinic to find the right balance between using my CTC vouchers and how much to pay, and the pain, and the distance between the clinic and home, because if I'm gonna have to do this for the entire first trimester, I want to be happy with the clinic I choose. Makes me feel like I wasn't appreciating the one near my rental flat because it was really a block away and there were female doctors. The jab was $16, payable by CTC vouchers. That's the dream. This is my last day to swim because the embryo transfer is tomorrow. Today's afternoon pastry session. While moving. Today is embryo transfer day. And I feel a lot better than I did on the embryo transfer day, the last cycle. I'm glad.
Okay, you can bring her out first.
Just did the blood test. Now we're going to collect medication. The next blood test for the beta HCG will be on 21st October as predicted because 20th is Diwali. So that will be 12 days of cyclogest and hopefully more if it's a successful cycle. Bringing the stroller to collect medication so I can get the priority queue. The stuff for Amit if he could come in, but he's outside with Lyric now. I'm waiting for the nurse and the doctor now because my bladder is a good amount of filled. Finally.
I'm pregnant until IOS confirmed. Again.
I'm really excited. I'm glad Lyric took a really nice long nap.
I did one more jab today, and Dr. Hema was recommending I take another one tomorrow as well. My butt hurts, as it will be for the next quarter of the year. But yeah, now I have to do jabs 3 times a week. For now, until the pregnancy test, it'll be Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays, because as a quote from Dr. Hema, your body is not going to know when Deepavali is to produce more progesterone and so on. So the weekend's really long. So instead of doing it on a Friday and then coming back on Tuesday and doing it, I'll be doing that on Sunday.
I've been so hungry since the embryo transfer. I've just been eating and eating a lot of food. My hope is that this is my body telling me that it's getting ready for a pregnancy and I need to eat more since I don't usually eat a lot. And I'm welcoming the change. I really want this to be a sign, but I know it's too early for it to be a proper sign. There's no HCG yet. I'm excited to test, but at the same time, I'm busy and I might not remember. But I don't want to forget these moments. But I also don't want to forget my first child, and compromise her life enjoyment because I'm trying to have another child. So that's the balance I'm trying to have right now. I'm gonna enjoy every moment of it. I've done my best to not baby carry. I either carry her in my arms. I don't know what difference it makes because of the pressure on the tummy. If I carry her in front, she's still putting pressure on my tummy. But I'll try the sides. But I'm trying not to have the baby carrier around my waist. Amit's taking her for all the potties when he's here. That also makes me have to bend down less. And I'm trying to drink pomegranate juice. Apparently that helps with implantation. I'm trying to eat eggs in the morning. Amit tries to make me eggs in the morning. I'm ready to be kiasu, but not kiasu enough to stop breastfeeding. But Lyric has been cluster feeding and it's really exhausting to wake up about 10 times a night. Pessary situation for the day.
Hello, Liz.
I've done 2 jabs in the same clinic on Sunday and Tuesday because on Sunday I went and there was an Indian doctor and it was a friendly doctor. It was CDC claimable. It was $20, so that's the best option by far. Well, actually with GST it's $21.80 and I pay the $180 in cash, but still the best option by far. And after he jabbed me, he did this on the spot and I was like, why? Pray tell. He said, oh, it dissipates the thing so that it doesn't clog up there. I was like, interesting. And then throughout the day, the jab didn't hurt, which happens with one other doctor, but also in the days after that, the jab didn't hurt. So I was like, wow, the jab may not hurt. I'm gonna go back to this guy. So I went back on Tuesday and it was a different doctor. And that guy was a lot more antsy about giving me the jab. Even though the first question he asked was, have you done this before? And I said yes. And then he proceeded to explain it to me like I haven't done it before. I also told him the other doctor did that. And then he didn't do that. So I did that on my own after that. The jab still hurts. So I guess it could have been another way that the doctor did it on Sunday. And I asked what is the doctor's roster over here at the reception, and they said that doctor only comes in on weekends. So dang it. It's 6 days post-transfer and I'm starting the test today. So my pregnancy test is right there and I'm gonna look at it. Well, it looks like nothing. That's normal. The pee is also quite gross because of the cyclogest. It looks like... Dude? Oh my goodness. Can't tell if there's a very, very faint line, but even if there isn't one, it's okay because it's quite early. Please be a faint line. Here's my candle for Pregnancy and Infant Last Remembrance Day. I was a little disappointed when I saw the test this morning because I thought it wasn't darkening. But when put into comparison with the previous day's test, it looks like it is darkening. So I am once again panicking for no reason. But yeah, it's darkening. It's the 3rd day of testing. I'm hoping it can be seen on the camera today. I'm gonna take a look at it now. You can see it. It's getting darker. I just got the jab done a day early because I realized most clinics are not open tomorrow, which is the eve of Diwali. So I had to scramble to find a clinic that will open at 8 AM today because I have other plans at 9 AM. And 9 AM is when the usual
clinic I go to opens. And they also have my doctor's note that I'm not able to collect back if I find a new doctor. But I decided to try just giving the medicine to the first clinic I went to, so they already know the procedure. And it worked. So I got the jab done. That was the most painful one yet. I was also spotting a little bit in the morning, and that scared me a little bit, but I know it could be implantation spotting. So let's hope that that's it. It's darkening.
I was just in bed trying to sleep early, and then Amit opened the master bathroom door, and a waft of odor entered my nose, and I was like, ew, can you wash your towel? Because it's most likely his towel, since he just took out the laundry and there was barely anything else. He looked at me weird, like, what do you mean it smells all the way from there? Like, he just gave me a look. But what he said was, I'm gonna take that as a pregnancy symptom. And then I was thinking, you're right, that does seem like a pretty obvious pregnancy symptom. And then I asked which week did my hypersensitive sense of smell come in the last pregnancy, and he said, I don't know, but you probably have an Excel sheet for that. Indeed I do, and I checked it, it was week 4, day 0. And what week is it right now? If embryo transfer is week 3, then it is currently week 4, day 3.
She fell asleep in the stroller, so I'm doing the pessary on the couch. Transferring her to the bed because I'm not sleeping there, and I'm just wiggling my leg on the stroller.
Tonight is the night before the beta test, and I've been spotting today more than 2 days ago, which is scary. I googled, and I don't think it's the progesterone level because I already have jabs on top of pessaries. It could be the insertion of the pessary, it could be uterine contractions from breastfeeding, or it could just be stress or hemorrhage. I hope it's something we can solve.
Alright.
Amit's first look at the test.
I don't know if you can tell on video, you probably can't, but I'm tearing up a little bit. That's true. This past week of craziness was so worth it.
I also don't have a test strip for tomorrow because we didn't go and collect our Shopee parcels before the public holiday.
Damn.
So do I just keep my pee in the closet?
I think you have to keep it in the fridge for accuracy.
Huh? The pee doesn't just stop getting pregnant. Yeah, and weird, right?
I mean, I don't know if it dies after a while, you know?
Today is pregnancy test day, and I've already done my own Kiasu test at home. I have the big one, and I have an expired small one from Lyric Cycle. It expired this year in June, but I tried it anyway, and it shows this. The big one shows this. Look at the 2 fat lines. Let's go! I know it's presumptuous of me to ask them to just let me take the medication while I take the blood test, because I don't want to go back to SGH twice, because sometimes the blood test number comes back low and it's still unlikely that the pregnancy will progress. These lines look like the lines in Lyrics round, so they look viable. But then again, in the first pregnancy that was a miscarriage, I didn't do the lines like that. I only did a pregnancy test on the day itself, so I wouldn't know the difference. Actually, I have the test strip from Lyrics round here. This was Lyrics round. This was the round before Lyrics, the July 2023. It also shows both lines equally strong. Maybe that's why I shouldn't take the medication first.
Number we're hoping for is about. Oh my goodness, dude, is 1,181. That's a bit scary. But I'm pregnant! Yay! Congratulations! Today was the beta test day, and Amit didn't follow me because we had to also install acoustic treatment at home, and he had to be home the whole day for that, so I had to bring Lyric out for the whole day as well. And I got Carissa to be with me so that I could do the blood test in case Lyric wasn't cooperating.
and also the jab after if it was a positive result. For the blood test in the morning, Carissa came late, but Lyric just sat down on the chair. I just told her, you sit here first. And then I did the blood test with her sitting next to me.
So cute.
And then we went to collect something from Vivo City. And then I just decided to check the blood test because I knew they were only gonna tell me the result at like 1 or 2.
Okay.
It was 10 plus, it was 10:20. I just looked at it, it was really there.
600.
1,181. In betweens. It will be a molar pregnancy, which means it's not going to continue. Then I got the call to confirm that the result was for reals and to come back and everything. And then I realized the first ultrasound is on Lyric's second day of school, so we can't do it. So I tried to ask them to postpone the first ultrasound to a day where we don't have to accompany her to school. And they were quite reluctant because they were scared of things like ectopic pregnancy. That's why they wanted to be on a certain date. And I'm thinking even fertile people might get ectopic pregnancies and they're not told to go on a specific date. So I think it's fine to postpone it. Maybe it's just for their records that they really want everything to be at that benchmark. So yeah, I just told them I know all the signs for ectopic pregnancy. If there's anything wrong, I'll come on the original date. But otherwise, can I come on 6th instead of 4th? Then they said okay lah. The end. Then I went for Sing Song Social Club.
Don't tell me that my clock is ticking. All the good things come to those who wait. It belittles my struggles, my pain, my heartache, and does nothing to change my fate. Tell me that you know my struggle is real, even though you can feel the things I feel. Ask me if there's anything you can do. Tell me I'm here for